Your interview is moving along beautifully. You're talking about all your great triumphs and you're sharing all your values, and then you come to that dreaded question. Tell us about a failure, or maybe about a mistake you made, or a setback you've had. And this is a very, very typical question, and it's why you should prepare for it. You should know that admissions committees are not trying to box you in. They're not trying to find your weakness. They are not trying to get you to admit to that one thing that will make you inadmissible. It's actually quite the opposite. They're trying to gauge your maturity. They're trying to understand that you can be honest and that you have the ability to reflect and have the capacity for growth, for personal growth that comes through reflection. Let's talk about some of the mistakes that applicants often make when they answer this question. The first is just refusing to admit fallibility, just saying something simple like, well, when we had this tough product launch, others on the team made a variety of errors. You can't shift responsibility. That's the exact opposite of what they want, and that would probably make you actually fairly inadmissible. Also, turning a weakness into a strength. I tried too hard on this product launch, and in trying too hard, I lost perspective on the project. Again, these people are not going to be fooled by turning a weakness into a strength. It just doesn't do anything for you at all, and it actually puts you in a negative light. At times, people will be too harsh about their failures. Oh, I was the worst. I can't believe this product launched. It was all my fault. I want to carry the weight of the world on my shoulders. I want to tell you how important I was and how my team was depending on me. And I let everyone down and it was a complete disaster. We've never recovered. That's not going to work either. They're not expecting you to bear the weight of the world. They are also certainly not expecting you to throw yourself at their mercy in front of them. So please stay away from the things that you shouldn't be doing and focus on the things that you should do. Here is a recipe for success. One is be candid, be honest, admit the mistake or failure, do it in plain terms, do it in a very flat way. Also, be thoughtful in analyzing how and why whatever happened. So show some reflection and show that you've really thought about it and that you've grown from it. The growth and development, they want to know that you have recovered. So don't just leave it as, hey, there's a problem, I made a mistake. There's a problem, I made a mistake, and I grew and developed. Okay, so let's go into an example. Let's assume that someone is asking me for a response to a question on an error I made in my career. And here is my fictitious example. I hired a friend, Josh. He needed the work. I really didn't do the vetting, and it didn't work out very well. And our friendship was tarnished, and I kind of fault myself for not doing more work. And I think, going forward, I've been much more careful with the people I hired. Okay, so there are the elements there. We know what the mistake was. There wasn't a lot of reflection, and there wasn't a lot of growth. We don't really understand the narrative. We don't understand the path that allowed someone to correct course. But what if I were to simply say, when I needed a bookkeeper at the last moment, I hired my friend Josh. And in hiring Josh, I didn't do the typical homework because we had been friends for a long time and I felt that he would give the kind of commitment that was necessary to my organization. And when he fell behind on our books, that obviously became a problem. And I didn't know how to approach it because Josh and I were friends and I didn't want to sully our friendship. And so I avoided giving him direct feedback. Ultimately, the problem began to grow. We began to miss payroll. The whole thing began to collapse upon itself. I gave Josh one last chance and he missed the deadline and I had to let him go, and it did also end our friendship. It was actually fairly heartbreaking for me, and yet I know that had I just simply done better homework on hiring and set proper expectations and probably not hired a friend, which I haven't done since, that we wouldn't have been in this situation. Going forward, I think I, again, have avoided hiring friends, but I have also been much more thoughtful about how we vet people and then have been very clear with expectations so that we can have proper feedback mechanisms and correct course early and develop good habits. In our second example, I've expanded, I've given you a full answer, I've taken responsibility, I've reflected, and I've shown a changed course going forward. I have all of the components of a successful answer to a failure question. Okay, that wraps this video, but another bedeviling interview question people really struggle with is one that my colleague, Gabrielle Samaya, has done a video on, and you might want to check out this video on how to answer the tell me about yourself question. Best of luck with your applications and your interviews.